Hey look, it's my favorite doomed Yaoi. Hey everyone, Ryviews here, and I review things, hence the channel name. And today I'm going to be looking at the Marvel Legends Daredevil Born Again, Daredevil, and Punisher. This is going to be a double review because, you know, it's Marvel Legends, they don't come with too much, so gotta stick them together to reach that 8-minute time slot. Let's start off with the, wait, wrong Punisher. Let's start off with the Daredevil Born Again Punisher, and he actually looks pretty good. Definitely a downgrade over the render they first showed us, where his head looked way more accurate. The way they pulled it off just does not do it justice. But it's still a fairly, really nice looking head sculpt. He does look a little sad though. Like he looks like he's a little disappointed in you. You know, wait. Other than his head, his paint is limited to the skull on his chest, the little magazine clips around his waist, and of course the gray knee pads, which are like in a dark blue compared to the lighter gray that's used up here. There's also a painted American flag. Otherwise, there's also a little skull here, and nothing else on the back. This is just the knife, so let me take the little knife out, little nif. And yeah, oh wait, sorry. Two little buckles on each side are painted gray. I do wish that there was some more detail here, but otherwise I think I'm going to Panaline and give this guy a matte finish, because that would just make him look a little bit better. His sculpting looks freaking nice. All the wrinkles in the pants, everything flows, and despite the fact that it's all just black, you can still see all of the really nice detail he has on him. I will say though that his arms are a little bit thick. The way they blend into the wrist just looks weird. It's like they kind of like look like skin lips over his hand peg, and I don't know, something about it. It works well with the trigger hands. With his other hands, he has two trigger finger hands, and a single fist hand and a single open hand. Marvel Legends, give us two fists. Come on, these are fighting characters. He comes with this tiny gun with some nice little paint for the magazine, and it is compatible with G.I. Joe effect parts, which looks pretty nice and it holds it really solidly. He also has a very nice looking axe for chopping. It is made out of a flexible plastic, so this thing will never break, and it will just infinitely squish. And finally, you get another very squishy knife. Look at that thing. That thing bends like crazy. Yep, so you have a knife, gray painted wrappings, and other than that, it's... Come on, camera, focus. Focus! The knife can be stored back here, and the gun can be stored over here, and I don't think he has any storage options for his axe, so he'll just have to raw dog it. Overall, I wish he had just like either another fist hand and an angry face. Please, he's Punisher. He needs an angry face. Please, come on, Hasbro, please. And here we have Charlie Cox, the actor for Matt Murdock. His head sculpt is fantastic and basically looks like the actor from every single angle. The amount of stubble really helps, though I wish the print quality looked a bit better. Otherwise, dang, that looks solid. He has this really nice, like, matted texture all over him, and it just looks really good, freaking accurate. Really like the fabric look and feel, and the different texture from when you get to the gauntlets and the boots is a really nice touch. I'm glad they didn't just go completely lazy. And while it does have the MCU panel liney detail things, I don't think it breaks up the silhouette or looks particularly weird. I think this design looks great in action figure form. The horns are made out of a slightly gummy soft plastic, so they're not gonna break or like hurt. Well, no, they're sharp enough to hurt. They hurt, but they're not gonna like break or anything. They're soft. And then of course, he has a butt. This thing is like, it exists. Okay. Definitely looks more natural than Punisher's chiseled looking sharp thing. Wait a sec, is that a thong? Matt here has a whole bunch of gray paint apps all over his body. Every gray bit, I'm pretty sure, is painted. The except for like the boots. So he is gray, and red. Dark red, nice dark red. Everything here is painted. I wish this section was painted too, because it stands out with those joints, but otherwise everything is incredibly nice. They also could have painted the lines back here in the shoulders, but they decided not to because, of course, this is Hasbro. They're going to cheap out where they can. But they have really nice, clean paint on the holders for his little, not nunchucks. I forgot what they are, the little club things. And then, of course, this line goes all the way around, but they missed where it should be. It should be slightly lower. As you can see, there's a little divot right there, but yeah, close enough. He has 2 billy clubs, and one has this double setup, and one just has the single setup. Otherwise, they're made of a nice flexible plastic, which, I mean, that means they can warp, but otherwise, pretty freaking solid. The paint on the bottom is, missing, though, so come on, Hasbro. And they can store in his pouch really nice, and they look great, just kind of sitting there. There's also the string whip piece that you saw attached in the other ones that they just plug in, and it's annoying, and it exists. He has 2 holding hands, a single fist hand, and a single open hand, and same complaint. We need 2 fist hands, Hasbro. I appreciate the open hand, but please, 2 fists, please. I, once again, would have liked an angry head, or at least 2 fist hands, please, or at least 2 open hands, please, Hasbro, please. That being said, the red eyes are a fantastic touch. Look at that looks clean. Alright, articulation time, and let's start with the Punisher. Now, Frank here has just something that I really wanted to see in Marvel Legends. The Star Wars The Black Series method of necks. Just, geez, man, please, Marvel Legends, keep doing this style of neck articulation. Perfect, side to side, down and up, just, it works so well. And, I mean, it's standard on a whole bunch of figures, Jada toys, a good chunk of import figures, SH Figure Art. Sometimes they do a little hunch thing, but otherwise, this should be the absolute base standard of neck articulation. It's so good, man, it's so good. Frank has some ball-jointed butterflies, which don't get that much side to side, but I do like the ability to adjust up and down, and this means that for Marvel Legends, he has good proportions. You do not know how difficult it is to find a Marvel Legends with just solid proportions, proper shoulders that don't drop off the face of the earth. I mean, damn, dude. Of course, you also get your solid T-pose and your bicep swivel right there, double jointed bend with the elbows, and of course, you have your hinge up and down, and then your hinge, I guess, well, this is side to side up and down, and then you have actual up and down, with, you know what I mean. Full 360, and then, you know, you do the thing. And then, of course, you have a single ball joint at their upper diaphragm, back that far, forward that far, which isn't that much, and then really nice side to side, and then you have a full 360 at the waist. It's kind of hindered by the belt, though, which is a separate piece, thankfully, but yeah, separate swivel here, and then you have your ball joint at the top. They really just need to do a ball joint setup like they did with Wolverine. It would help so much, and it wouldn't be that difficult. Please, Hasbro, please. Legs move forward and backwards that far, and then you have a thigh swivel, full 360, double jointed bend at that elbow, knee, not elbow, knee, and then of course you have your swivel here with the spinny, down that far, up that far. Overall, articulation on him could be much better, but they did enough to make it naturalistic and serviceable and fun to pose, which is, you know, the point of an action figure. Has to be fun. Okay, Matt time. And he, of course, has that same ball-jointed neck system, and dang, works so well. He gets a very nice upward, very nice downward, and of course, side to side, everything just works. Then, of course, you have the same kind of shoulder setup, basically no real butterfly movement, but it's about as much as you normally get with the Marvel Legends, so it's not too bad. Then you get that adjustable up and down, which is fantastic for fighting poses and fighters, which I've said before. And, I mean, you can kind of get some range. But, of course, you go way up. I mean, dang, dude. And then your 360 here, bicep swivel 360, nice double jointed bend at that elbow, up and down with that sort of hinge. Then of course you have your spin here, and then that diaphragm with that ball joint, which feels very nice and satisfying. All the range you could want backwards, all the range you could want forwards, side, full 360. Then you have a full 360 at that waist. Fortunately, no ball joint. They really need to do a ball joint setup like they did with their Wolverine with the belt, which looks so much and works so much better. Please, at least, even if it's not a peg here, just use a ball joint instead, just for customizers to add that extra range. Please, Hasbro, you need to do it. Ball joint at each of the legs, forward and backwards that far, splits that far, 360 at that bicep, and then of course you have your double jointed bend at the knee, and your up and down swivel, and a spinny. Overall, the major gripe I have with these two articulation is lack of ankle or calf swivel, and lack of ball joint at the lower waist. Otherwise, really solid range, and I'm a big fan, and these guys are fun to pose. I mean, they could have deeper butterflies, but not sure how they would do it without like a hinge out system like they do in SH Figures, with the way they kind of did the sculpting. Oh, and here are their boxes. Like, they fit kind of weird that Punisher has the red background and Daredevil has the gray background, but it kind of makes sense because they pop against each other's background. Art on the side is pretty cool. Everything looks good and nice, and boxes, I'm gonna toss them. And here's the UPC, I guess, if you want to use it, though this one's kind of covered by the Disneyland version of the sticker, because I got these at Disneyland, California. So, Punisher action figure slightly taller than Matt Murdock, and let's see the rest of the size comparisons. Game Reverse, Punisher. Legendary Saiyan Goku. Game Reverse, Cyclops. A Figma figure I'm forgetting the name of. Superhero Piccolo, Moth-X comic Daredevil, and the Marvel Legends Kingpin. Overall, what a great set of figures. I highly recommend them, and even though I don't collect MCU figures, live action figures, I like these. I'm a big fan of the Daredevil show. Punisher is a fun character for me. I really appreciate Matt Murdock and his very comic accurate-ish design. And Punisher, of course, just basically always wears this anyway, except skin tight in the comics. And I am a big fan of these figures, big fan of the characters, and I'm glad to have them in figure form. The one thing that I still find weird is that they picked a British guy to be an American superhero. Also, if you didn't know, Hell's Kitchen's freaking tiny in real life. Like, it's only like, I don't even know if it's a mile long. Like, yeah, he's doing all that fighting with basically just a square mile of space. Like, come on, dude. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and found this helpful. I know that I'm kind of late to the Daredevil and Punisher party, but who cares? See you guys next time. Bye-bye.